Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cleveland Sports Report, your home for Indians baseball, your cable home for Browns football, and your sister station for Cleveland Cavaliers basketball. We are the Cleveland Sports Report. Hi, I'm your host, Nick Brolis, and today on the show, we've got a couple things to cover, starting off with the Cleveland Browns. But first, I want to give you the phone number so you can get on 330-555-2821. Tweet at me at mbrolis. And please feel free to email us, as we still do read emails, believe it or not. nickbrolis8404@yahoo.com. And today on the show, I wanted to cover with you the Browns head coaching vacancy. And yes, we all know that there's not many coaching names on this list that really just awe you. But there's one particular person, Adam Gase, the offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. Now, there's a stipulation with Gase, as you know. He can't talk to anybody until after the Denver Broncos season is over. Now, that may be this Sunday when they play the New England Patriots. If they lose, or if they win, the Browns have to wait until after the Super Bowl. So, if I'm the Browns, I better be darn sure that this guy's going to take the head coaching job. Now, as I told you earlier, some of these names, they're not eye-popping. They're not, wow, I got to stay tuned to this to find out. Mike Munchak, the former Tennessee Titans head coach. 22-26 record in 3 seasons at Tennessee. No, I'm not overly excited about that at all. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm not overly excited about any of these guys on the list, to be honest with you. But if you ask me and you put a gun to my head, which I hope nobody does, I will take Adam Gase. The problem I have, and this has been the problem with the Browns ever since they come back. They hire all these assistants or coordinators, guys with very little NFL coaching experience. I know there's been a couple here and there, but Eric Mangini's a perfect example. He was with the Jets first. No, I'm not overly excited about this list. And if you're Adam Gase, why? Well, what's the big hoopla about getting the head coaching gig in Cleveland? I know we have some talent on this team. I think we had 5 Pro Bowlers this year. We have talent. But if you're Adam Gase, why would you walk away from the situation you have in Denver? If Peyton Manning comes back, you're going to the playoffs again next year, more than likely. So that's with that. Now, for those of you who may have already heard about this, Jim Caldwell is now going to the Detroit Lions. Some of you are thinking, okay, what's that got to do with us? Nothing. I understand that. But here's the other part to this. Here's his offensive coordinator that he wants, Jim Tressel. And some of you who are just now hearing that are thinking, what? Are you serious? I know I was kind of had the same reaction. For me, it's not the Detroit Lions thing. It's the whole Ohio State-Michigan thing. Tressel being from Youngstown, won a national title with Youngstown and Ohio State. Just that whole thing. I'm curious about that. So if any of you guys have an opinion on that, I would like to know that. The other thing is I wanted to talk about was the Cavs. Underachieving. They're 13-24 right now. I believe they're 5th in the Central. They go to Staples Center tonight to play the Lakers, who are 14-23. The Cavs are 1-1 ever since the Luol Deng trade, and they got slaughtered in their last game by 44 points in Sacramento. Now, they went to Utah the first night, and they handled their business. They did what I expected them to do. Then they went to Sacramento, got their butts whooped. Now, we're hoping that they have a different fate tonight. Starts at 10 o'clock. I'm hoping some of you older people out there can stay up and watch the game. But this team has got to start winning 3 and 4 games in a row. we're only 2 games out of the A spot in the Eastern Conference. So thank God we're in the Eastern Conference. I just want to see some progress with this team on a consistent basis. Sometimes they want to play defense at times. Other times it's, well, we'll just try to outscore you. We're not going to outscore anybody. Speaking of scoring, I found an interesting graphic on Twitter earlier today, and it shows that Anthony Bennett is averaging the lowest points per game in the history of the number 1 overall picks. That's sad. 1.5 points per game. Can you please at least rebound the ball well? Can you do something right? Pass the ball better. I know you're only getting garbage minutes at the end, but there are some games when you're in there, in spurts. Show us some sort of progress that shows us that this game's not overwhelming to you, that you're starting to get it, that you're working hard in practice. Show us something, Anthony Bennett. Can you please do that for me? Now, going back to football, but to the college level, Ohio State lost Mike Vrabel to the Houston Texans, Bill O'Brien's staff down there. He's going to be the defensive coordinator. Now, check this out. Urban Meyer, being as slick as he is, he goes out and gets Penn State's assistant coach, Larry Johnson. Very well-respected man, defensive-minded. Him, along with the co-defensive coordinator now in Chris Ash from Arkansas. 2 brilliant defensive minds. I'm hoping that they're able to help get this secondary for Ohio State better than what it was last year. Because if it was even a little bit better, I think we probably would have beat Clemson in the Orange Bowl. We probably would have beat Michigan State in the Big Ten championship game. So, just a little bit of stuff on the plate for you today. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this Browns coaching situation. I know there's probably nobody on the list that you actually like or, care to see. This team has lost a lot of respectability nationwide, and you can understand why. But I want to hear what you have to say. And, of course, and I can actually already see on my computer over here that there's actually a couple of you that want to talk the draft, which is fine. We're in the new year. I understand that. I get that. College football is over with. And I am looking forward to the draft, but aren't we always looking forward to the draft? So feel free to call the show and talk the draft. Again, the number is 330-555-2821. Tweet at me at nbrolis. Email nickbrolis8404@yahoo.com. If you want to talk about the Cavs game tonight, feel free. I've got a good feeling they're going to pull this win out tonight. And of course, what I just mentioned, if you want to talk about the Ohio State coaching staff changes, I'm fine with that. I'm also already going down the list for next year because in terms of the season for Ohio State, you got to remember that we're adding Rutgers and Maryland to the Big Ten. Ooh, that was a big pickup for the Big Ten. All they care about was the television ratings for the New York market. If they were going to go after, if it was my opinion, not to get too far ahead of myself, I would have went for Syracuse to join the Big Ten because they're New York's college team. It says it on the court for when the Orange play their basketball games. But anyways, I just want to hear what you have to say on that and what you're looking for in terms of the head coaching for the Browns. If there's anybody on that's not on the list that you would like to say that you would like to see, I don't want to hear anything about Bill Cowher, John Gruden, none of names like that. Just names that you think personally might be able to help us out. I would have liked to have seen Brian Billick get a shot. Not going to happen. So again, 330-555-2821 is the phone number. Tweet at me at nbrolis, and we'll be right back after this break.